They put the B in business. This is Beach Talk Radio.
Good morning, Mr. and Mrs. America, and all ships at sea. This is your captain speaking, Mean Gene. Mean Gene. The following will be a test of the ship's whistle, the sonar alarm, the cable alarm, and the atomic attack alarm.
Live from Peach Time Out in the heart of Times Square, you're listening to Beach Talk Radio with Kim and Ed Ryan.
And good morning, everybody, and welcome to Beach Talk Radio. My name is Ed Ryan. Yes, it is, and this is episode 179. That means, dear, I know you can't do the math because you're not a math expert. That means one away from 180. And we like to thank our sponsors, as we always do at the beginning of the show, because without them, it'd just be two people talking for no apparent reason other than to come down here.
It would be one person hogging all the conversation.
Oh, how dare you
right.
Let these people think that this isn't what you thrive to be, a podcaster. Your goal in life is to be a podcaster. So next time we start 180, please don't interrupt me when I'm reading about the sponsors because they're very important. They pay your salary, woman. The Best Western, Island Oils, Fort Myers Tiki Tours, Nervous Nellies, Mangaritas, Sanibel Carts, State Insurance USA, Sun Palace Vacation, La Ola Restaurant, Tuckaway Cafe, Blue Ribbon Events, Beach Pottery, Shuckers, and of course, Pete's Time Out. I heard John's in Wyoming at a wedding. Who does he know in Wyoming? I don't know.
That's a nice place for a wedding.
Coming up later in the show, we'll have beach trivia, movie trivia, with your chance to win 2 tickets to the Beach Theater, is what I meant to say.
Do you know what's playing?
I don't know what's playing this week. You know what?
I thought you listed it. I thought you said
we
Paw
do.
Patrol.
Now that you say that, Paw Patrol, I know that's playing because I got the question from Janine about that. And I don't know what else is playing. It's funny, I didn't get the email about the new movies.
Nice.
Paw Patrol is like a kid's thing, dear, in case you didn't know that.
Believe me, I know.
We're going to have 2 tickets to give away. And you know what? Being that you broke the printer at home, Janine sent the question yesterday and was the longest question she's ever sent. And so I had to write it out because you broke the printer. And so we'll have a long question.
Are you going to remember to read it?
I have it right here.
Did you read it?
Oh, wait, right here.
Because you stumble often.
I didn't, wait, it's right here. I didn't pre-read it.
Oh.
But what?
Mike's got the movies.
Oh, he's got the movies.
Mike with the movies.
Hello, everybody. Hopefully the sound's okay. He's distracting me over there in the window, dear. I thought maybe something was wrong with the sound. So how was your week this week before we get to our guests?
It was a very busy week. How about you, dear?
Very busy, yes. It's crazy out there right now with the Rona thing and the Afghanistan thing, and it's nutty. It's nutty.
Glued to the news.
Week. Yeah. And so the other thing...
And, our hearts go out.
Oh, crazy.
To all of those
was
folks.
It 13
servicemen and I think 60 Afghans?
No, it's like 170 now. It's a crazy amount. Apparently, the suicide bomber had 25 pounds of explosives and shrapnel attached to the explosives.
Well, and was there more than one?
No, they revised that to say that it was just the one, and
one person.
And I guess there were some other crazies with guns after the explosion. So, I mean, there's just no good answer to that whole thing. But anyway, let's not talk about national politics because there's plenty of stuff going on here in the beach. Like yesterday, the fire chief, our friend Matt Love, announced that he was resigning or moving on, or it's kind of an odd thing. I think it's a little weird, don't you think?
Well,
he announced that he was leaving, but didn't say he was going anywhere just yet. But wants to stay long enough for a transition.
His service, I think it was something like that. So.
But he didn't get the job in Loveland. They gave the job to somebody else that was an Arizona assistant fire chief. And I understand that it so happened that Matt and this guy knew each other. How crazy is that?
Small world.
Yeah, I guess when you travel in the fire circles, you know everybody.
Fire chief circles, probably
so,
relatively small.
Chief Love is 39 years old. I mean, he probably can work.
He's a rising star.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And he will be greatly missed.
Yeah.
By many
Super
in the
nice
community,
guy.
and his family.
Yeah. And so the way I found out was weird because I got a notification on my phone. I didn't even tell you this part. I got a notification on my phone from the firefighters. They tagged me on Instagram to let me know about the letter. And then I called and tried to track things down because, I'm a reporter and I like to make sure that my sources are accurate. Yeah.
Investigative reporting.
Yeah. And so I got the confirmation that apparently it's just like they're going to give themselves enough time to hire a chief and all that. And so I guess we'll see where he goes, but he could probably snap his fingers and say, okay, that one looks good to me. And that one looks good to me. And there you go. So you were very informative on that topic there. So thank you for participating in that conversation. We'll go right ahead.
No, I'm just saying that we're really there's not a lot of information to report past he's not going to be there. So we'll have to wait and see where he goes. Wish him well. He's going to be missed. He did a great job. He was always very good about providing us information and writing articles. He always was willing to come on the show. He was big about advocacy for education and
Good input, dear. Thank you. I'd like to throw Ron Martin's hat into the ring, everybody. And so he's my second favorite in the fire department. But I think there might be like some negativity with some of the complainers in the fire department or something. Because the other thing I didn't tell you was I got a voicemail that was like a computer voice that said, Chief Matt Love has resigned. Chief, like repeated on my voicemail. It's just the weirdest thing. Yeah. And so I think
didn't get that.
I know. Well, I'm the investigative reporter and you're just a pretty face on the show. I'm kidding. You know a lot more about the water than I do. Well, you are a pretty face too. Is that okay to say that? It's not okay to say it. I'm going to get canceled. I know I'm going to get canceled now for saying that she has a pretty face. If I said you had an ugly face, would I get canceled?
How about you just not make any comment about it?
I can't make any comments about your face?
No.
Oh, okay. The other quick thing before our guest and our first guest, by the way, our second guest is Eddie Rood. So we're going to talk about the Dune Walkover and why he likes to kill birds. I don't know why he likes to kill birds and why he's trying to kill all the wildlife out there. Of course, I'm just kidding, but it's always nice to have Eddie on because he's quiet and shy, and we have to pry things out of him and stretch the show out because sometimes we're worried that you're going to have to ask him to show you the picture of the fish that he caught this morning. It was huge. Really?
Yeah.
In the critical wildlife area?
No.
Oh, okay. Do they have fish?
Non-tidal. I don't.
Are you allowed to fish in a critical wildlife area?
I don't know.
Are you allowed to walk through it?
No. I think you can walk through it.
Yeah. Is that against the rules? Like walking through it? Or you're allowed to trudge through it? I think you have to be
careful. I think you can go right through that water.
It'd be nice if there was something to walk over it so you didn't have to walk through it.
I think that's what we're going to be talking about.
And our first guest is from the UK, and she's here. It's every once in a while, it's nice to have a new guest, somebody that's just visiting Fort Myers Beach and considering whether or not she wants to move down here. And so we just plucked a name out of a hat. And here we are, and she's got a UK background, yes. And so the first thing she did when she came down here was she got in contact with Eve. Why
don't you let her tell this story?
Okay. Did you know that Turtle Time is 30 years old?
Wow.
I mean, they've got those yellow shirts that say 30th anniversary. That's a long time.
The turtles have been coming here a lot longer, but Turtle Time has been.
Do you think Eve has been at the helm of Turtle Time for all 30 years? That's a trivia question.
That is a good question.
Yeah, thank you very much.
She's too young for that.
You shouldn't say good question to me because I'm going to ring the bell for myself. Thank you very much.
It was a mediocre question.
And so I think we're ready for her name is Annika. That sounds kind of more like Russian than it does from the United Kingdom. So we're going to have Annika come on and tell us how much she loves Fort Myers Beach. Of course, Kim's going to go out and schmooze her a little bit. And then we're going to have Eddie Rood on to talk about the Dune Walkover. And then we're going to give away tickets to the Beach Theater. Have a seat. You can have a seat, right? Dear, don't you have to tell our guests what the protocol is here?
So you're wrong.
I'm wrong.
You're wrong.
All right. Correct me. You're always good at that.
Her name is Anik.
Oh, sorry. I just read it the way they wrote it, so.
That's
All right. So get nice and close to the microphone. If you do it down there, nobody can hear you. So would you like some tea before we started the interview?
Oh boy, he's not going to try and.
I'm fine, thank you. I do believe that the lovely Jennifer
Yeah.
is getting me a Bloody Mary.
Oh wow.
Oh, there you
Jennifer
go.
is known for her Bloody Marys on
Is she
Saturday
now?
morning, and I'm just kidding, Jennifer. I know you're
She would never.
very,
do that.
very, very much non-alcoholic Bloody Marys.
Virgin Bloody
Yeah.
Marys.
Very nice. So, Annika, I've got to.
Anik.
I'm sorry. I know Annika sounds like a tennis player or somebody from Russia or something. So
I'm with you on that. I'm
Yeah,
not sure why, but yeah,
you're tall. How tall are you?
I am rather. I am 5'10" 3/4".
Holy shit, she's
Wow.
taller than I am, dear. Wow, that's tall.
That's-
How'd you get
I know,
so tall?
but you're not very tall.
I don't know. I just kept going.
Yeah,
I just
That
kept
is
on
a
going.
dumb question.
really. Now, of course, the first
I'm a
question.
growing girl
Yeah.
as well. So
Oh, you are.
yeah. Just watch me go. Next year,
6 feet.
6. Yeah.
Nice.
They'll want me in the basketball championships down here and everything, even though I can't catch.
Okay. Do you play what's that name of that stupid game?
Pickleball?
Pickleball. Do you play pickleball? Do they have pickleball in the UK?
I've never heard of it.
Of course
Really?
not, because in the
It's
UK
like
they
small
play real
tennis.
sports.
Small tennis.
Small
Yeah.
tennis.
Okay.
Let's not get caught up in the pickleball,
Okay.
Annika. The
It's
first question I have for you
Anik.
is the serious question.
Okay.
How long can this queen really live? I mean, for crying out loud, what she's monopolizing the crown for how many years now? I mean, what is she, like 102? How
You
long?
weren't prepared for that one.
I wasn't. Gosh.
No, seriously.
I have no idea.
I mean, how old is she?
She's
I
well into
actually
her
have
90s.
No idea.
Yeah,
she's-
didn't the husband die? Or what was his name? Harry or no,
No, that's
Charles?
the son.
No, what was his
No.
name?
Oh my gosh.
You don't know the king's name.
Brits.
That's-
I'm so sorry. I haven't
How
got
long
a
have
clue.
you been-
I've been here for a while.
How long
How
have you
long
been
have
out
you
of the
been
country?
here?
For crying out loud, you're
Well-
from the UK.
How long have you been here?
Wow.
I've been in the States for 5 years, but I've moved around and lived in other countries, and I haven't always lived in the UK.
Okay. Do you know
Now,
what?
where have you lived in the U.S.? Can we just move on from your stupid questions and just interview her? Thank you. Where else have you lived in the U.S.?
I've lived New Orleans and Mississippi, Jackson, Mississippi.
Wow, that's a small
They're the
town.
main
And
places.
I heard
It
that you
is.
created a not-for-profit. Was it there?
I did, yes. That's I went down.
That's a good question, isn't
I
it?
was like, yes.
You can't
I
egg her
was
on like that. You're not getting the
Well,
bell for that, egging her on like
and
that.
also
No,
be
no.
warned that
What?
this is a topic
What is?
where you've got to try and stop me talking about this.
Okay.
Oh, all right. Well,
She'll-
good.
Don't worry, she'll interrupt you.
Okay, so yes, I have a non-profit down there, and I went down for a 9-month contract, and my personal response to the community that I met there was this non-profit. I felt like there was something that I could give back to this wonderful community, and so the non-profit took off, and I honored it and stayed for almost 4 years.
How did you
And what
wind-
is it?
It's called the Light Collaborative. It focuses on equity in STEM, STEAM, and maker education.
Very interesting.
And do you know what that stands
Yes, of
for?
course I do, dear. How dare you? But
I
for those
don't
in the
think you
audience who might
do.
not understand, because our audience is a little slow sometimes. What exactly does that mean?
Not everybody knows. It is a bit of a buzz term. And
Yeah.
also, if you don't have kids or you're not in education, then
Right.
you're not necessarily aware of it. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and maths. STEAM has the arts in there. And basically, it's all about it's a holistic, creative problem solving, really, in
Right.
a nutshell. And maker is STEAM in action. So it's bringing together all those disciplines to solve problems.
Do you find it more complicated to explain what it is before you can raise money for it? I mean,
That's actually a really good question. Nobody's ever asked me that. Yeah, you can have that.
thank you. 2-0 is the score so
no,
far,
I have
Terry.
one.
No,
That
you
was-
egg yourself on. You don't get credit for that. I'm keeping proper score here.
So nobody ever asked
2
me that
for Ed.
question.
Thank
And
you
I
very
have to
much.
say, when I first got to Mississippi, the hardest thing was educating people. Not that people were stupid. It was just I come from that world,
Mhm.
and was getting people to feel comfortable and to understand what STEM, let alone STEAM, which is kind of
Right.
like, and maker, what this was. And when people don't know what these things are, it's intimidating. You know, you don't want to be embarrassed by not knowing what somebody's talking about. Why
He
would
doesn't
you?
care.
Plus, I'm guessing Mississippi, you probably had to explain it more than once.
No.
I have to explain it more than once everywhere.
Yeah. So when you came from the UK, where you don't know who the king is, did they drop you off in Mississippi? Did they accidentally drop you off there or something? Or
No, they very kindly dropped me off, gently
Yeah.
lowered me in.
Well,
and
Mississippi,
introduced
why?
me
Why
as a
Mississippi?
representative of the Queen. Why Mississippi? I had a 9-month contract there with Mississippi Museum of Art,
I see.
and decided to stay because the nonprofit just popped, and I felt I should stay and honor it.
Okay.
And so how did you end up landing here?
Well, so a friend of mine that came to Mississippi, connected to my nonprofit, but then set up his own business, etc. He then moved here. He's involved in tech because STEM education has a lot of
Right.
large leaning towards tech. And he came here, and with COVID, obviously, like everyone else, the nonprofit struggled, and life just got a little bit tougher. And he was here, and he said, "Look, come down here. It's beautiful. You need a break." And I can work from anywhere at the moment because everything's been online. So I'm here. And
Now, did you get vaccinated?
I did.
Yes.
Twice.
So you
double
got
shot.
you got the Johnson and Johnson then, or
No.
or the other one, whatever the other one is.
Pfizer.
So you
I
got two
think it
shots.
was-
You're gonna
it was
get
a
the
while
booster.
back.
You think you're gonna get the booster? You're not sure.
I'm not sure, actually. I haven't heard enough about it. I'm very open to it.
Sure.
I feel like it's. I'm a very social person, and the
Mhm.
responsible thing I feel I should do is
Protect us.
myself to protect other people.
Well, thank you for protecting us. Did you get the shots here in the U.S. or in the country where you don't know who the king is?
I got it in the US. I have to say, Mississippi was just like rolling them out and just getting them out
Like
there.
they give you $100 or tickets to the movies or something. There,
Not quite, but there was like
Yeah.
no queues, and seriously, everybody was just getting bang, bang,
Yeah.
bang. And whereas I know friends in New York were on waiting lists and all around the world.
so you don't worry
Right.
that perhaps in 10 years you might have 3 heads or 4 feet or grow another arm or anything like that, or nothing. You're
Well,
cool
I
with
worry about what's going to happen to my body anyway. In the next 10 years, everything's going to droop, everything's going to sag.
Oh, okay.
So that's just the way it goes.
that. Gotcha. So how is the UK compared to the United States when it comes to the Rona?
To Corona?
Yeah. We call it Rona here in the U.S.
Yes. Yeah.
for short.
How is it different?
Like, are they
It's-
cracking down over in the UK? Are they closing
Yeah.
down everything?
Yes,
Or,
yes. I
yeah.
have to say, so my friends in practically everywhere other than New Zealand feels like when I speak to them, they're constantly on lockdowns. They're constantly saying, "Oh, it's terrible, this and that." And whereas I feel here we're in a bubble. I feel that
Here
it's
we're in a
not-
bubble, like
Yeah,
in Florida.
as if probably particularly in Florida. Yes.
You
So
feel like you're in a bubble in Florida.
I feel like I'm in regards to COVID,
Yeah.
Rona, sorry.
Yes, thank you. Have you been to New York or California?
Not since COVID,
Yeah.
but I haven't. Yes, I've
Yeah,
heard.
you should try to get into one of those states right now. Are you taking the day off today from the show?
You are monopolizing it. with
I'm
stuff
sorry, but
that
I
really,
when
you know,
left the house this morning, you said your questions are more interesting than mine. So
well, I would like to talk about her time here at the beach and
okay.
what she likes about
But-
the beach and those kinds of things.
by the
But
way, it's Prince Philip, just for the
Oh, there
record.
we go.
there you
Yes,
Thank
I didn't
you.
know that either. Stephen
and you
Green
were
did.
one
Thank
that
you,
said
Stephen.
you didn't want to talk about
What?
national stuff. So
This isn't national.
well,
Rona
it
is
is.
everywhere. dear.
Okay, well, but you
even
wanted to talk about
even
local
I had,
stuff.
Even I had the Rona pretty bad.
You
Yeah,
did?
yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, I'm
I
so
mean,
sorry.
That's okay. I didn't need to go to the hospital, but I was.
It
you
was
know,
unpleasant.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
I had a lot of gas and
Oh.
things like that. Oh yeah.
Oh, unpleasant for everyone.
For-
yes,
yeah, for her
yes.
especially. She didn't need to wear.
Thankfully, the house is
She didn't
was
need to wear.
divided.
She didn't need to wear a mask for the Rona, but she needed to wear the mask for other reasons. Anyway, you got a question for our fabulous
how was
guest?
your-
How
question?
long have you been here? What do you like about the area? And do you plan to stay?
Well, All great questions.
That was 3.
There we go. Yes. Oh, 1-1. 1-1.
Yeah.
There's a little competition
A
going
little
on here.
bit,
I
a
like
little
that. A little bit of healthy competition keeps you on your toes, right?
Absolutely.
So I've been here for 1 month. And what was the other question? Do I like it? Yes. What do I like about it? So it's changed over the month, actually.
Really?
So, yeah. When I first came here, what I liked was the obvious,
Right.
beautiful nature, etc., etc. I felt like, oh, is this just let's say a tourist Disneyland? Is this not really real? Where's the community,
mhm.
etc. When I first came here. And I thought, oh, maybe this isn't really a place I could stay because I'm very much a community person and
Sounds like it, yeah.
so forth. However, now I've been here a month, and you know what I find? So today, actually, in Times Square, as you can see, yes, I have got involved in the community, and what I find incredible and really beautiful and so important for any place to sustainably survive on all levels. I'm talking business, environmental, just humanity,
Right.
healthy minds, bodies, etc. Is collaboration. And I find it amazing here how the businesses and the environmentalists and the everyday community are all working together to improve this place. And it's pretty damn powerful. Excuse my French.
Oh.
How
You can say
dare you.
whatever you want.
Okay, yes, we were talking about gas earlier.
That's right.
So yeah, so now I'm.
People don't have gas in the UK. Is that what
Oh,
you're
no.
saying? I mean,
Good Lord, no.
They would not talk
we
about
don't
those
do
kinds of
dare you.
things. They're way too dignified and refined.
if you don't think the Queen has
Absolutely.
gas when nobody's around, come on now.
How could you put those two words in the same
I know, right?
sentence?
The thing why do people in the UK still worship
we're
one
back.
person? Why? I don't get that.
I don't think it's.
I don't know.
think
I
it's.
she's
think,
got
I think
this
we're
big
a bunch
ca-
of heathens.
she's
to be
got this
honest.
big
I don't
castle
think there's much
and,
worship going on
know,
generally.
By the way,
We're
I'm sure you could
anti-heroes.
name who our president is, right? Oh,
I can. Biden.
okay.
Yes,
I know you.
can.
I know it's hard to get those words out, President Biden, together. I know it's hard for me to say it too, but
Is it?
anyway. So what, dear? What?
Nothing.
So 1 month here.
Yes.
So you're going to give yourself 2 more months to decide.
Correct.
Do you have like $100 million to buy a shanty on this
You know
island?
what?
Because that's
So-
how much it'll cost you. And it might have termites, by the way. All the houses. No, I'm just kidding.
I've
kidding.
noticed that. Yeah.
What, the
a couple
tent?
of the places.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's just a temporary thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
unpleasant, but that happens everywhere.
Yeah.
it does. It
Well,
hasn't happened to us.
It
We have
happens-
rats,
it's
not
like-
termites. So what's
oh
the difference?
gosh, what's the difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the
Everywhere,
rats smell a little
pluses,
worse
minuses.
than the
They do.
termites.
Oh.
yeah.
I don't think they do
Yeah.
as much damage.
No,
though.
you're just no. Never mind. We're not going to go back.
No,
there
we're not
again.
kidding. We have
Bad
rats.
smells.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't have gas. What are
Everybody
you talking
has-
about?
Everybody
Monica?
has right.
They don't
All
have,
right, go ahead.
What were you
sorry,
saying?
What were we
What was
saying?
she? What were you saying? There, you threw her off base
You
there.
threw her
$1
off.
million.
Yes. No,
So,
yeah,
okay, officially, guys, no, I don't have $1 million, but open to it.
yeah. Well, how much do you have?
So I would rather not even look at my
You
bank
must-
account and count
What
right
do you?
now.
What's your?
Can you let her answer
What
the
is your
question?
occupation?
So I'm trained in marketing, and my marketing is all community centric. So it's about so I do branding. So it's brand marketing,
Mhm.
community marketing, community outreach, all that kind of area. And then I also have that whole element of non-profits and bringing that together.
So you're kind of like
wow.
a PIO in
a
some.
PIO.
Yeah, a public information officer. You could be a PIO
Oh,
Is that
I
what it
think
is?
it's beyond
For a
that.
community.
I mean,
Oh.
I think she
Well,
It's
how
a-
much is your salary?
a grander. I
Well,
don't think it's that. And that's
Do you
none
have
of
a
your
salary
business.
right now?
Right now, no. So I've given myself 3 months. I thought I'll come down here, check this place out.
Yeah.
If I want to stay, I'll start looking for work. So actually, I've just started looking for work because I've decided I'd like to stay.
Nice.
And so we had this conversation earlier on, and it really struck me
Thank you.
in reference to the fact that you guys don't actually live on the beach,
Right.
on the island.
Because we couldn't afford it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Right
And the
now.
termites thing too.
And yeah, right now I'm not a fan of termites, and I don't think it's within my price range. However, so this has been something that's been concerning me. I'm thinking, oh, maybe this is unrealistic. So on my little adventure of trying to figure out this community and whether I want to stay and whether it's feasible for me to stay, is I have found out about...
Keep the mic close. Keep the mic close.
Workforce housing.
Oh, forget that. You're never going to find that. It's not built yet.
Well...
Maybe you go to Sanibel to find it. It's not on this island.
They're working on that. There's a big push. This is what I understand on my...
Listen, I'm an investigative reporter, and I can tell you the factual information is it's a couple of years off, I believe, right? At least a year off, right?
Maybe I'll have to come back.
Yeah. So I'm curious about how you...
But at least it's happening.
Now, where are you staying? Are you staying at a hotel, or are you staying with friends? Or...
Yep, I'm staying with a friend.
Yeah. What's his name?
His name is Vince.
Is it serious?
And it's very serious.
Nice.
He is a beautiful buddy, and his wife is currently in Jerusalem for 3 months. And she's a good friend of mine. And she said, hey, why don't you ask Anik to come down? She's kind of tired of being stuck in COVID world.
In Mississippi or?
Yes, I was in Mississippi, and I came here. And
they live on the beach?
They live on the beach.
Do they have termites or termite free?
Would you let that go?
Free.
And is it on the water side or is it on the bay side?
It's on the, I'm not sure what you call them, the canals, one
side.
of the canals.
I see. Do you know that most people that live on the canal, they don't own the actual piece of property that the dock comes out on because somebody bought that? That's a whole nother story, but I don't mean to confuse you.
Interesting. We can
that.
that later.
Another day.
What have you had this morning?
I really got I had an English muffin with bacon.
No, you've had way too much Monster or coffee or something. I really apologize.
I've been up since I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to sleep. I got up at 1.
I didn't realize if he was being a bit cheeky.
I got up at 1:30 and I couldn't fall asleep. So far I've had 2 cups of coffee, 2 Monsters, and I'm drinking a Diet Coke. I'm trying to stay awake, but your story is really
fascinating.
It is fascinating. So how were you able to go, like, you're not employed now, right?
I'm not what, sorry?
You're not working at the moment. You're looking.
I am not really. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm finishing off a little bit of work online, and I have a small retainer still. I've got pocket money, as it were.
How much pocket money do you need to be on Fort Myers Beach?
Well,
how big is the packet?
Right.
That is what I'm looking at. How small? Because I don't really
need a big
spot. I know
spot.
this is not very American or even maybe the most sensible thing to say.
Are you mocking Americans?
I don't care about money.
Yeah.
And so I just need to earn enough money just to have a simple life and to be able to be part of a beautiful community. I'm not interested in big money.
I'm trying to give you a reality check, Annika.
Yes.
When you want to live a simple life on Fort Myers Beach, it's going to take a little bit.
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out
These are called cans in America, just so you know, cans.
So I heard.
I didn't know if you knew that, but I just thought I'd fill her in on that. I'm trying to give her some American.
You're really getting on my last nerve today.
I'm really baffled by the Queen thing. Like, I want to know how old the Queen thing is. So how about the brothers fighting, though? I mean, really, that really is it besmirches the family, don't you think? When the brothers
it's sad
and one
when
guy,
any family falls out.
This is true. This is true. How's your family?
And
do you have family?
Horrible. I do.
Tell
my
us.
Lovely mother.
Yeah.
Hi, mummy.
How old is mom?
Oh gosh.
That's not. He asked the most. Is she here in the U.S.?
No,
she's never going to see this unless you share it with her.
Well, she would love to see it. She's a big fan of mine.
Very nice. Well, there you go.
She's beautiful. She's fantastic.
You don't need to give us her age if you don't want to.
She is I think about 75.
Oh, she's way younger than the Queen, so she's got plenty of years left.
She has.
So,
maybe she could take over if the Queen, maybe your mom could be the new Queen.
So, Annika, what is
Mommy, are you listening to this?
I know.
Let's say, God forbid this ever happens, she should live to 200. But let's say the Queen keels over. No, seriously. Okay. If the Queen keels over one day, who's next in line?
Well,
I think it's Charles.
Officially, it's Charles. However, there's lots of talk about it going straight to
How
one
do
of
you-
the sons.
Do you need some
No, I
kind
think
of?
it is going straight to one of the sons because
really
I
should have
think
done my
Charles.
research
I
before
think
came.
Charles
What?
I think he passed it on.
How can you do that? Don't you need to pass some kind of constitutional
I think
amendment
it was
for?
something. Oh
Doesn't
boy, I'm
mean
going to
it's
butcher
impossible
this,
to do.
but I think it was because he wanted to marry Camilla,
Oh,
and then
I
so
see. 'Cause
that
he
got
got-
him out of
Because
the.
he had an affair.
He got out of line.
Right, gotcha.
He got out of the line. He got out of the
So,
lineage.
Maybe.
So
Maybe. I don't know.
One
We're
of the
butchering this.
one of the fighters,
I
one
know
of
I'm not helping you.
one of the boys that are fighting gets to be the king.
Yes.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. Why are
I think-
Americans so enamored by what goes on over there?
Because it's part of their history. If you're Caucasian, if you're of European roots, sorry, it's part of your history. And an American, modern day America, i.e., all the European-based people,
Mhm.
that's where they've come from. And European-based history in America is young. You know, this country's only a couple of hundred or so years old, and
You know more about
Well, and I
America than
think-
you do about the UK.
I
Oh,
think
by the way, the
people-
Queen.
it's probably true.
One
I
of
think
our.
people are fascinated too by the whole king, queen, just the whole.
No, it sounds
story
so
about
romantic,
it, yes.
and it's something where you guys don't have it. So if
Oh, we have it.
if you have
King-
you have a queen,
King Biden. We have it.
King
yeah.
Biden.
Yeah.
Stop.
By the way, the Queen is 95. One of our viewers looked it up, probably Googled it. I don't
Oh,
think.
well, good.
Thank you.
95 is wow, and she's got her wits about her for 95.
That's
I mean,
pretty amazing,
she what kind of
actually,
drugs is she on to be totally with it at 95?
Oh,
because
she said that I can't share it.
does she drink alcohol? Do you
No
think?
tea.
She says I cannot share that
Oh,
information.
cut it out,
Tea.
I've
Annika.
spoken
Stop
to
it.
It's
Stop
tea.
it.
At, at 4 o'clock. When is tea? 4 o'clock.
Seriously,
I've always said
High tea?
3.
do you drink
but
tea?
Maybe it is.
or is that BS? Do you drink tea? What are you? You're gonna about to have a Bloody Mary? I know that's for sure.
I know.
right? Have you been able to pick up a turtle yet?
Yes.
You have.
Yes.
So
yes.
really, you infected the
I-
turtle with your germs on your hands, is what you did, right? Did you kill the turtle, or I mean,
no, I had clean hands. I was helping with releasing them into the sea.
isn't it supposed to be a natural process where they
Yes,
wake up in the morning and
But
they swim out into the ocean
Yes,
and they
it
all get
is.
eaten by the sharks and only one lives?
Yes, it is.
I bet you didn't
One
know.
out of
But
1,000.
do you know why it's not always a natural process? It's because of lighting pollution. So the reason why these little turtles they come out of their nests,
Mhm.
and the reason why they go straight towards the sea is because they are attracted to the reflection. It's programmed.
Listen, we
the
know,
reflection and the light.
Annika, we know all that.
I need.
Let's not get started on lighting
Am I
pollution.
called Hanukkah now? as
Let's-
well?
Let's not get going on lighting pollution because we've got some crazy people in our audience that will tell you all about the lighting pollution. Do they have
All
turtle?
right.
Do
There
they
are
have
many people out there that are supporting it, and it's incredible. I've
supporting
seen,
what? Light pollution?
Reducing it.
Reducing it.
I see.
So, and a lot of the businesses here, like Margaritaville.
Yes.
I heard the amazing stuff, the work that they're doing. So the businesses and the community, like I said, the businesses and the community and the environmentalists are working together.
Yeah.
It takes time. Nobody likes
I
change.
know.
Right.
You've learned a lot in 30 days. I have to
Yeah.
give you credit for. I'm going to give you a bell for that. Very nice. Very nice.
Hey, look at that.
Do they have turtles in the UK?
Not these kind of turtles.
Okay, they're unique to the United States. I bet you didn't know how fast those friggers can swim to the Key West
I know,
area.
That's amazing.
Have you ever seen that?
That's like that's the best bit of releasing them. Once they actually hit the water, they do this little nose dive, and then it's like
It's 30
They're
miles
done.
an hour,
you want.
Yeah.
If
That's
they
crazy.
get in the jet stream,
and they're
oh.
so big, and you think
I mean,
turtles are going to be slow, but
Not the
30 miles
Jets.
an hour is fast. Yeah,
There's a lot of welly that they've got in there.
a lot of what?
A lot of welly. A lot of
Welly.
welly. How about I just
The hell
say
is
that?
what the hell is
They've got
welly?
a lot of strength in their little.
I
Oh.
see strength. Very
Yes.
nice. So
Don't ask me why welly. I don't know.
you've been a fine.
Welly or Willie? Welly.
Willy.
As in
Welly.
a Wellington boot. But
How do you know a turtle has a willy?
Oh.
again, viewers, I'm
A
really
Wellington
sorry. I have no idea about my culture and my history.
Yes,
If
you
you can
do.
tell me why Brits say you've got a lot of welly or
Now,
you need
how
a bit of welly.
Annika? How
let me
old are
know.
you?
I'm
In a
old enough
range.
to know better.
Do you plan to get married?
How do you know she's not?
Are you married? Well, she's
I-
staying with a married couple, so I'm guessing not.
No, I'm not.
You're not planning to get
I'm
married.
not married. I'm not
So in
No,
addition to looking for a
not-
job, are you looking for a significant other of?
I'm not looking. No.
Oh, I see. I
I'm
see.
looking for a community.
Yeah. You want to be married to the community first, right?
Or part of it.
I'm hesitant on the word marriage, but
Why?
I just want to be part of. Yeah, I want to be part of a sustainable, realistic, beautiful community that collaborates across its arenas, i.e., like business and environmentalists.
Yeah, and the STEAM and the STEM and all that stuff. Yeah.
I mean, I know this sounds corny. Some wise man somewhere, I can't remember, I'm terrible with quotes, but there's this whole thing about together we stand, divided we fall. And I've always felt that is just so important in everything.
I think now's an appropriate time for us to do the Pledge of Allegiance after you said that, or maybe sing the Star Spangled Banner. Do you know
I'm right behind you.
what is the national song of the UK? Can you sing it?
No.
You cannot sing it.
No.
For crying out loud, you don't know who the Queen
Maybe
is?
you should ask me if I could sing first.
Well,
That's
it
true.
wouldn't matter.
There you go.
Do they have
There you go.
Do they have a national?
Yeah, you're doing
Do they
great.
have a national song?
There is a song, but I don't. We never sang it
Mm.
in school. We don't have that sense of
Pride like we do. I get you. So when right,
we have a sense of pride. It's very different. We're from.
what did you
always do the
think
same
of Donald Trump as the president?
Dear, we need to let her go. You
We do?
are,
I think,
yes, the poor thing.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
have a
She's
drink
got-
waiting over there. I've
Oh,
been
sorry.
told
It's
I
probably
need
all
to-
water now. So just your parting thoughts on the former president of the UK. I mean, the US.
Who, sorry? What?
Donald,
What?
never mind. Forget it. It's probably a dumb question anyway. Would you like to leave us with any parting thoughts on your lovely trip? You've been a fine sport with all of her crazy questions that she's been asking you. And so
rough.
I hope you'll come back and let us know what your decision is on whether you're going to stay or go.
I
Well,
think she's
my
staying.
decision is.
Oh,
I
you're
would
going to
like-
announce it now. Wait, I got to do a drum roll if you
Yeah.
want.
I think she
Okay,
already
let's go.
said it, but you're
Oh, you said it.
You're not
My
thinking.
decision is I would like to stay.
Okay.
I guess I might as well just say it. However, I need to find out how I'm going to stay.
Yeah, you
here.
need some friggin'
So,
money.
Yes. So
Okay,
I need
just
to
to
get
put it
working.
bluntly. Yeah.
Need to get back into the marketing world, and
if anybody
needs
knows
community
anything.
outreach, marketing, branding, anything around that area, I'm your gal. I'm. Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know we were going to
I
turn
love
this
what
into
I
a
do,
job
and
interview
I'm-
for you.
Oh, please.
What did he say?
He didn't know you were going to turn this into a job interview. I said, oh, please.
Neither did
After
I.
what you've been
Oh, that's
through,
rude.
you can
That
say
was
whatever
rude right
you
there.
want.
I got to
You
get
were
rid of that comment. That was
you were
very rude.
such a
A lovely guest. Thank you so
yes.
much. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a big artificial round of applause from our audience for Annika? How do you say your last name?
Anik
Anik. Kirk.
Kirkjian.
Anik Kirk, like Captain Kirk, but only Anik.
Kirkjian.
Kirk John. Oh, she kept it short.
Oh, that's
Hanukkah
you know
Kirk.
what?
It was like
that's
cool.
why
Hanukkah
because
Kirk.
I tried to look you
Hanukkah.
up on Google, find some information, and I found
All right,
nothing.
dear. You can
so
have
I
this
thought you were
conversation
like
later. You're
not a
wasting
real
valuable
person.
airtime right
There's
here.
a lot on
because
Yeah.
I didn't use the second part of the name. I
See.
just had
Oh.
KURK. So
So-
there's no one with that name that exists out there with any kind
There
of
is a
profile,
couple
anything.
There's
There's one, but
there is, yeah.
definitely wasn't you.
The music's playing, and people can come down and see Annika down at the Murph tent. She'll have turtles in her hand and the bright yellow shirt on. Thank you so much for coming on. It was lovely to meet you too, and have a lovely stay here on Fort Myers Beach. I want to tell everybody about Beach Pottery. Our friends at Beach Pottery, everybody, you know what they got? They have pots because, it's not called beach tables or beach chairs or beach something else. It's called Beach Pottery. So they have pottery, which means pots and other assorted things that you make with a chainsaw, and you put plants in and you put all kinds of cool things in, or you can hang carved artwork up on your wall. And the best part about it is it's not from China. It's from Vietnam, where Kamala Harris didn't go. Or did she go? I don't know. She was laughing all the way, that's for sure. It's from Vietnam and Mexico, and over 8,000 pots. New line of all-weather outdoor furniture. Unique on-site chainsaw, carved wood pieces, tikis, hand-finished and painted. It's beachy, home decor. It's lovely. It's Beach Pottery, and they are located on San Carlos Boulevard. You can call them too and say, I heard some Doofus talking about you on Facebook and YouTube about beach pottery from Vietnam. I'd like a pot because I have a plant and I want to put the plant in the pot. 437-4211 is the number to call, 437-4211. And don't forget, we have 2 tickets to give away to the Beach Theater, and it's going to be all about that kids movie. I already forgot the name of the Paw Patrol. Is that like a new movie with dogs? Is that what that is?
No, Paw Patrol's been around for. It's a whole thing.
It's a serious kind of thing?
No, it's not a serious thing.
All right. No, I said series kind of
Oh,
thing.
oh,
We're about to get serious now because Eddie Rood is back. Welcome back to the show, Mr. Rood.
Well, how are y'all?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
I warned him that
What?
you were like.
Well, dear, I was having a little fun with our UK friends.
You know,
I know.
think it's fun, but not everybody thinks it's
I
fun.
think most people think it's fun.
I had to
thought it
buy
was
her
fun.
a drink.
You did?
To apologize
Put it
for
on
your
our
behavior.
business tab.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I put it on our tab.
I mean, you
Hey,
pull the
so-
cobwebs out of your wallet to buy somebody a drink for a change.
I
Good
pulled
on
them
you.
out of your wallet.
All right.
So, did you bring your phone?
I did bring my phone.
All right. Why
'Cause
do
what
we
did
need
you-
his phone?
What did you do
Need to
this morning?
Call for help this
Oh,
morning
I went fishing this morning.
in the
got
critical
up early.
wildlife area.
And no, I went fishing underneath the bridge.
You got to keep that
I
close.
went fishing underneath the bridge there.
I'll
Nice.
hold
The
that.
fishingest bridge in all of the world. Is that where you went fishing? He's not even paying attention.
It's close.
I'm out of the camera here.
It's
Look at
close,
that.
and so I don't
Oh,
have to walk
please.
far. I can drive.
People
I can
need to
drive-
see me.
I can drive right down to where I fish at.
All right.
So I don't have to.
Do you have a picture of the fish?
Right. I do.
All right. What kind of fish was it? Was it a snapper?
No, it's a snook.
Snook? Holy
Look at
moly.
that.
Show that to the camera,
I
dear.
know. I'm gonna.
Go ahead. Turn that around. How big do you think that snook was?
It was 35 inches, I believe.
Wow. What'd you catch it with? A bobber?
No, a spoon, little spoon.
A spoon?
Yeah,
silver-
he
What do you
felt
mean, a
he was
spoon?
a little light in the tackle. It's like a little
It took me a
silver.
little while to get it in.
Yeah.
My tackle was a little bit light. I wasn't expecting this.
What was your pound test line kind of thing, dear?
I think it's like 30 pounds.
Nobody can hear a word
I
you're
think it's
saying.
like 30-pound test on it.
30-pound test. And you said you were using like a spinner kind of deal.
No,
a
it's a
spoon.
little silver spoon.
Oh, so that's not bait. That's something you buy at the hardware store, right?
I don't mess with live baits.
Yeah.
Much trouble.
It did have a bobber on it.
You.
No.
No.
Is it
Really?
was it on the bottom? You fish it on the bottom, or
no? You throw it out there and you
Yeah.
reel it in at a pretty good pace.
oh,
You
okay.
know, it's fishing.
It
throw it out
simulates
and you
a.
reel
It
it in.
simulates a.
Have you ever fished with a bobber,
like a
Eddie?
minnow, like a.
I have when my girls were little, I'd
Yeah.
take them fishing and use a bobber.
Yeah.
There's
so
nothing-
Children use bobbers.
I think so. Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
nothing. There's no better feeling when you're fishing than when you see that bobber go under the water and there's a fish on. I
Yeah.
mean, that's I can't
want
get
you to
enough
lose
of the bobber
those.
fishing thing. It's
Yeah.
just an amazing thing. I'll never forget that. We were fishing for snapper on Long Island off the dock. I was a little kid and
Speaking
I don't
of
even remember- I
docks,
don't remember what the
we're
bait
here
was,
to talk
so.
about dune
Oh, yeah.
walkovers.
Oh, are we?
yeah.
Yes.
What, you have one going in there or something going on? What's the latest, Eddie? Fill us in on. You give us the update on what's happening.
It's got
Well,
a long history, but for those
Yeah.
folks who need to get filled, for the folks who aren't familiar with it, can you give the website that you have so people could get caught up to speed? Because we're going to kind of just go forward from.
It's beachaccessmatters.com.
Okay. All right.
And
All
I have not updated it in a while.
I know. I looked at it last night. You
Yeah.
gotta get on there.
Yeah, I need to
get some
update it. I
updates
need
on
to get
there.
on it and update it.
But
There's,
at least gives people the history, and
Well,
then
and there's not really a lot. There's not a lot happened in the last 6 months or so, other than the deal with the state of Florida. And I do need to go on there and update it
Okay.
with that information.
so
yeah.
So
Yeah.
where are we now?
Well, we've got the Kurt and I. It's kind of funny. We're kind of on autopilot now. We're not doing much. It's mostly in the state's hands, so to speak. There's a timeline that the court has given us and the state, and so we have certain things that have to be done by certain dates, and we're in the beginnings of the mediation process.
let me just say that. Hold on. We got to do a
background.
little for our newest viewers who might
Okay.
not know what's going on. You and Eddie and Kurt Cromer live next to each other down on the southern end of the island, before the bridge, before the fishingest bridge in the
Right.
world, and you are you bought a home. He bought a home. And at one time, that house had access. Both houses had access to the beach.
Yes.
Over time,
Through accretion
and hurricanes and tides and all that stuff, a critical wildlife area moved kind of down toward your house. You no longer am I saying it wrong?
Go this way.
No, the boundaries when the critical wildlife area was originally set up back in the 90s, the boundaries were far north of us, and there wasn't any accretion in front of our homes. Now, when we purchased our homes in 2011 and 2012, the critical wildlife area, the boundaries had already been moved to where they were behind where our property was, but we still had direct access to the beach.
And you had access to the beach because your neighbor next door had access, and then when he found out he owned the property to the high tide line, he put a fence there.
He put a fence up,
blocked your asses from going to the beach.
Right, put up a fence and a sign that said no trespassing.
Right,
and so that stopped everyone in the neighborhood was using the same access.
Right,
and it was legal access. People have said, well, you never had legal access. No, it was legal access. If you go back and look at the maps, the mean high water line was along the water's edge, right. And the mean high water line affords public access.
So right. fast forward, you believe you.
So then you felt you needed to build a walkover because this guy
blocked off
as his right, blocked off the right, and
not his problem, right?
Now you needed to build this walkover over this area that's got a lagoon in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question before you say anything. Are people walking through it now? Do people walk through that area now and trench?
No, you can't because it has a fence and a sign.
Oh, it has a fence.
They put up the property owner 2 houses down from Kurt put up a fence.
No, I don't mean the guy next door to you. I mean
the
people walk through the critical wildlife area.
Oh, I see people in it all the time.
Okay,
yeah.
So don't you think that? Okay, I'm not going to ask that question because I don't want to make it seem like I'm taking sides. But so you feel like you should have access to the beach. You had it before. You should have it now. So you decided that you were going to pursue a 7,000-foot boardwalk or something like that on the kind of like around the edge of the critical. Maybe it's a little shorter than that, but it's lengthy.
It was originally when we first talked about it. It was only across the first the water that's immediately behind our houses. So it was 100 feet or 120 foot. When we went to the DEP through the permitting process, they asked us what our path would be to get to the beach from the end of the terminus.
Original. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Right. And we showed them, and we were walking through the critical wildlife area. And so they asked us if we would make it longer, and so that the terminus would be outside of the boundary, and our footpath from the end of the walkover to the shore would be outside the critical wildlife area. So the length of it now was basically determined by what DEP recommended.
Gotcha. Okay. So what you needed to get was a special exemption from the town of Fort Myers Beach because they had the last say of what you could do over there, and that was denied.
Yeah. Well, and then there again, they have an ordinance where it clearly states that walkovers are by right, that you have the right to have a walkover if it's necessary to get across the dunes. The dune area, but they used a play on words. They said, "Well, your walkover doesn't fall under that ordinance because it's a bridge. It's not a walkover."
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So a special exception was required. And
right.
As you're aware, we went to the land planning board, and they recommended approval with a 7-0 unanimous approval.
That's the LPA.
Right. And then it went to the council and they said no.
Right.
Okay.
And so right now you're basically in a 3-2 kind of spot with the mayor in favor of your walkover, and probably Dan Allers. I'm guessing it's still the same as it was months ago, and the other three are against. And you got one, I think that's a maybe or leaning toward no right now. This is all speculation on my part. I haven't talked to those folks about it. But
I'd like to make one point, if you don't mind. I've spoken to the obviously I've spoken to all the council people. I've had I invited all of them to my home. They've all been to my house. The previous council, the present council, and I'd like to make this clear for the viewers. I don't think it's so much about the walkover. The mayor and also Dan Ehlers also made a very similar comment. They're not necessarily in favor of the walkover, but what they're in favor of is they recognize the damage that is going to happen, the collateral damage,
right,
from the fight, the money, and what's at risk. And
let's talk about those points. How much do you think the town taxpayers have invested in this fight so far?
I would say it's probably getting upwards of $1 million.
No, it's not that high, but it's in the hundreds of thousands.
How do you know?
Because the last time I checked, it wasn't $1 million. It's a lot. Let's say it's a lot.
The last
well, why'd you ask him then if you were just going to say it's
I'm sure he doesn't know. Who knows, really?
No, the last I heard from someone credible, I can't recall exactly who, but they said that the town was in excess of $500,000, and that was several months ago.
Okay. So the second question I have is the reason you said they might not be in favor of the walkover, but they know what the collateral damage will be. If you go through all these stages and win, all these court cases and win, you'll wipe out the critical wildlife area.
If we have to.
Like you'll make it crystal clear behind your backyard. You walk right out, right through.
Right. Well, keep one thing in mind here. The town that I'm not going to name names, but there's a council person that has repeatedly said we've threatened the town. We're threatening the town, that we're going to take the critical wildlife area, that we're going to do this or do that. And it's also been said that they didn't feel like that the critical wildlife area that should be a part of any negotiation, that the walkover is the walkover and the critical wildlife area is a critical wildlife area. But they're hand in hand. Anyone with that's a play on words from that council person. Kurt and I don't make threats. We're businessmen. Businessmen when you threaten someone, it makes an enemy. You can't ever get anywhere. You can't negotiate with someone that you've turned into an enemy. Business people don't make threats. All we were doing was advising them of our future action so they could have that information in order to base a good decision on. And so we let them know what was coming. We let them know what the process would be. That's all. No threat.
So if you were to acquire that area, as you were saying that they would clear, wouldn't you just put your Dune Walkover up, or would you?
Still need the special exception.
Well, there again, that's kind of.
So then you would be just relegated to fill it in, or.
I don't know what the DEP. We have all the permits. We have, that's another thing.
But you have bizarre. The permits for the Dune Walkover. You don't have permits to fill it in.
It would take different permits, and we already have all the permits in place for the walkover.
For the walkover, okay.
And in spite of what everyone says, the walkover it's built in a manner that that the aesthetics blend in,
right?
Where filling it in,
it
wouldn't look good, and it's
it doesn't. I don't even think it has anything to do with the walkover anymore. It's just a fight between you and them.
Yeah. No, it's
well, and there at one point it was they wanted you to give.
Oh yeah, good question.
Thank you. They wanted you to. One of the negotiating points was that you and Kurt would allow complete public access, which made it seem like we'll give it to you and we don't care about the critical wildlife area as long as you let everybody else use it, right? Is that the way you looked at it?
Here's the thing there again. they offered something they knew that we would not accept.
Right.
They offered something that they knew that we wouldn't agree to. I guess to try to look better, like, oh, well, we made them an offer, but they turned it down. But it was an offer. No private property owner would just open their property to the public, and let the entire public have access through their.
But you countered with that you would open it up to the neighbors. Is that correct?
We've said all along, but this is mine and Kurt's project, okay? But we know all of our neighbors. It's a neighborhood of people there, and we had already discussed with them. How do you feel about it? Would you be opposed to it? Would you like to use it? You know, and so it's not just a Kurt and Eddie thing. It's a neighborhood thing. It's a neighborhood that has been denied. The entire neighborhood was using the original access, and the entire neighborhood has been closed out.
We had a question from the audience. Maria asked a good question about who would maintain it, and that would be you because it's yours. Right.
Yeah.
So
where are we at now today?
Yeah, but it's one point too that I'd like to make. If it's okay, the original complaint was we want to protect the critical wildlife area and we don't want people going out there. All right. So 2 years later, they're all right with people going out there. As a matter of fact, they want lots of people out there. If you'll open it up to the public, we'll give you the special exception. Okay. So, but if it's only for your neighborhood, we're not going to give it to you. So if it's just a limited small number of people, we're not going to give it to you. But if it's hundreds of people, then we'll let you have it. When in fact, originally, they didn't want anyone there at all. And that was the reasoning that they used to file the lawsuits that they ultimately ended up losing.
So now you're in court with the state trying to prove that you have the title to the land that is hosting this critical wildlife area. And if it's proven in court, which you think it will be, that you own the property and you have title of the property, you've already got private property signs up, right?
That's correct.
And so the people that are bird watching or whatever they're doing out there, are they bird watching?
Well, there aren't any birds on mine and Kurt's property, so I don't know what they're doing out there.
What is behind
to clarify, though, the critical wildlife area isn't all on your.
Yeah,
it extends.
It extends north.
Okay.
All the way up the subdivision towards Grand Old Man.
You're just talking about the section behind yours and Kurt's house.
Right. We're on the south end of the critical wildlife area, and actually, when we get title to the land, Kurt has a clear path to the beach without walking in the critical wildlife area because the boundary extends partway into his property.
So why is he part of this then if he's got access to the beach?
He doesn't have access.
Oh,
no.
I thought that's what you just said.
No.
No. We can't get across the water.
I see.
Yeah. No one in the neighborhood.
So let's say you win the court case with the state, and it's determined that everything behind your house is yours and Kurt's. Right. You own that. What will you do? What can you do? Are you allowed to just bring a truck out and start dumping sand in the water?
It's still in the EC. All right, it's still
EC stands for people in the audience that might not know. Some of our people are
environment control line.
Yeah, environmental control people.
Right, you can't build things seaward of the EC.
So you don't win anything then.
Well, what we win is what we get out of it is what we said all along. And I want to make this very clear to everyone that's listening. Kurt and I have no desire to dismantle the critical wildlife area. It's
got to go straight in.
The area behind our homes. We really enjoy the area behind our homes. The tranquility, not actually having the actual beach right in your backyard. And so there are a lot of positive things. And we never intended for this to go this far. We merely advised the town where this could go if they kept pushing it, and they have kept pushing it.
So so as far as other options that are to get you to the beach,
if we
I mean,
own,
a zip line. I mean,
Right.
what can you
no,
do?
if we
I
own-
like that idea.
Like a
Do you
zip
need a
line?
special exception for a zip line?
I probably have to have a special exception to construct anything that's permanent.
Well, if it's just
I
on
see.
your property and your property over there, and it
Can you
just-
take it if you take
Right.
it down every night? Is that
Yeah.
permanent or
if you take it down every night, no, it's not permanent.
it's a lot of work though?
Yeah,
Mhm.
but the other thing you have to take in mind, which I don't want to get into a discussion here on this right here, but I have disabilities, and I can.
Mental or physical?
That's well, probably if you ask my wife, she would tell you both. And,
Yeah, and you
yeah.
won something on that, right? Where the
No, it's
dear.
in court. That's in
That was
court.
somebody
also.
else.
Yeah.
well, there was a ruling by
We're not.
Judge Shap-
All right.
Jack-
Oh, that was
on
yeah,
the ADA thing.
yeah. John,
Maria says, "How do you
Yeah.
zip back?" She's got a good point there.
yeah,
You
yeah.
got to climb
Yeah,
back,
yeah,
Maria.
no
what the
kidding.
hell's
You're
wrong
gonna
with
get
you?
one of those
Come
jet
on.
propelled things that
Oh,
you
you
put
gotta-
on your back. And
You got to
jet
be in
propel
decent
over.
shape. You got to climb back.
There are several things here that are very confusing. Under
I'll say.
Florida statute, if you own a beachfront property, there's a Florida statute that guarantees your right of ingress and
Riparian.
egress to the beach,
Mhm.
and the town is violating that. Kurt and I have the state law behind us, and acquiring title to the land. Then we own the land on both sides. We're not just owning it on one side and leasing it from the state on the other side.
Mhm.
Now we own it on both sides, and that turns into a federal deal where under federal law you have the right, you're guaranteed the right to have access to any property, any land that you own, and it says reasonable access, and so swimming and kayaking and
Zip
you know,
lining would
is
not be
not
reasonable.
reasonable.
So
Walking
the,
over there is reasonable.
I know I'm pushing along here, but the other thing is now that it's in court, let's say you win. Really, what you're trying to establish is, okay, we own the property. You're denying us access to the beach, and that calls for the what's the name of it
Bert
again?
Harris.
The Bert Harris lawsuit. And for people, right? Am I right?
No, the Bert Harris lawsuit.
No, you're not right.
I am right.
We have put the Bert Harris lawsuit kind of on the back burner.
Until all this other stuff is resolved.
Right, until some of these other things
Yeah.
are resolved. Because if we're to win these lawsuits that are coming up here in the next few months,
Yeah.
then we wouldn't have a Bert Harris because we would be made whole by winning the lawsuit.
But you still need the special exception to build the Dune Walkover.
That's another debate. I have said before, you've heard me say, if we own the land on both sides and not just leasing the other side from the state, it falls into a different category. And if we had to, if it goes that far, there would be another lawsuit in federal court because we would sue to have reasonable access to property we own
I see.
on the other side.
So what you were saying, I think, is if you win the lawsuits at the state, you're going to build the Dune Walkover and let the chips fall where they may with the town.
It's not quite that simple, but essentially.
You'll give it a shot.
Well, we're not going to build anything illegally without going through the proper channels. And so we'll pursue those channels.
So let's say,
change
okay,
as we win
so
things.
Eddie, let's say you win the lawsuits at the state. Are you going to go to the town council and say, hey, this is where we are. I need one more vote.
This is where we are. Okay. Kurt and I don't want to, but we're willing to dissolve the critical wildlife area.
But I still don't think you have the right. You don't even think you have the right to dissolve it.
Yes, we do. If we own it.
But I
The
asked you
state-
before.
But that section, just that section, right? Not the
Yes.
whole thing.
No.
Right.
Right. But here's the thing: it sets a precedent for all of the other property owners.
No, don't fuzzy things up. You said before that you're not sure if you could shove sand into the critical wildlife area behind your house so that you can walk to the beach.
Has
You're
nothing
not
to
sure
do
of
with
that.
the critical wildlife area. I'm not sure the DEP. It's still an environmentally
So
controlled
you're
area.
not sure whatever's behind your house, whatever the hell it's called. You're not sure if you could just shove sand into it so you can walk across.
Right.
You're not
Yeah.
sure of that.
Yeah.
So you can't dissolve it. You're not.
Yes. Ed, you're
It's two
confusing
separate
the
things.
two separate things. You're
I'm trying to
confusing
figure
the
out
issue.
how you think you're going to get access to the beach if you win the lawsuits.
I'm going to tell you how.
All right.
Because if we win the lawsuit, which we're
All right.
almost certain we're going
All
to,
right.
we'll talk about that in just a second. provided we win the quiet title. I don't even think it'll go to court. The states, we're going to settle this out of court.
Okay.
before
Okay.
spring.
All right.
Okay. All right. Once the state concedes ownership and says, yes, you own it,
All right.
you cannot have a critical wildlife area on private property.
All right. What do you do? What do you do?
So those things happen with that.
Okay.
Right.
So what do you do?
Right. So what we do is at that point, we ask the town if they still want to deny the
Okay.
special exception.
What if they say yes? What do you do?
Then we'll start dissolving the critical.
And when you
wildlife.
say dissolve it, what do you mean?
It will no longer exist. There'll
So
no
you're
longer
going to
be
shove
any
sand
border.
into it.
It's no.
Well,
No.
then how are you dissolving it?
Ed, the boundaries disappear.
Okay, so how are you going to get to the beach? Simplify it for me if I'm
That's-
too dumb
okay.
to understand. How are you going to get to the beach?
We'll continue pursuing it.
Then you would
build,
do the bird.
We are going to build this walkover.
So what you're saying is you're not going to put the sand in it. You're going to build the walkover and face the consequences if there are any from the town.
Now you're putting words in my mouth.
Well, I'm
You
trying to
still
figure
have
out
to
if you
go
win,
through. If we win, we will go to the next step.
which is
if-
go to the town.
Yes, and if they still deny the special exception,
Yeah.
now we own the land on both sides.
Right.
And if we have to, we'll file an additional lawsuit in federal court to force access to the other side, which we're guaranteed by federal law.
So at that point, it's really between you and the town. You're
Yeah.
going to build a walkover or file a lawsuit that says we're going to build a walkover, but they wouldn't give us the special exception.
Right.
Has
It's-
nothing to do really with putting sand
Yeah.
over the
No.
birds.
the
All
whole
right.
thing. Here's what's
Well,
confusing. about
here's
this
what's
thing.
confusing. When you say dissolve the critical wildlife area, that sounds like I'm shoving sand in it and I'm
No,
making
it
everything
just sounds like you're erasing the
boundaries-
boundary
Right.
lines.
There's no
to
boundaries
you
anymore.
guys, maybe, but not to my
There's
audience.
there is no official. What happens is the CWA ceases to exist.
in that section.
Yeah, maybe dissolve is not
Okay,
the right
I see.
word. Well, and then the other property owners, we've already spoken to them
Sure.
all. It's going to be a domino effect.
Did you
Okay.
say to me that a couple of property owners have already built walkovers? Did somebody say that?
There's a walkover down there.
Is
yeah.
that legal?
I don't know what the status is. The property owner is claiming that he rebuilt something that was
Oh, I
already
see.
there,
I
Oh,
see.
okay.
but I'm not sure. I don't know. I haven't looked into it, investigated. or
So
whatever.
are you happy with the amount of money you have invested in this walkover?
I'm not happy about any of it. Nobody can believe the position that the town has taken with this.
Well, a lot of
Um,
people can.
and,
Yeah, I know. There are a lot of people that support the town.
Well,
I shouldn't say a lot on either side. I have
Yeah.
no idea, but there are
Yeah.
people that
Yeah.
support the town.
the
People support
walkover-
you.
The walkover hurts nothing. The walkover doesn't destroy anything. The walkover doesn't present any danger to the wildlife or the area. And if it did, the Corps of Engineers, U.S. Fish and Game, and the Florida DEP would not have issued the permits. This is strictly a subject that the town has dug their heels in, and they refuse to listen to anything other than we don't want it.
Well, the mayor is adamant about wasting money. He's not in
Yeah.
favor of this. You could see every time it comes up, I think his head's going to blow off because he wants this thing to be resolved.
Settled. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, no, the money is unbelievable. The money that's
Yeah.
been spent. And here's the other side of this. So they said, well, if you let the public have access to your property, we'll give you a special exception. Okay, so it's about protecting the critical wildlife area.
Or it's not. You're right.
So the public is good, and just a limited number of people in the neighborhood
that was
is
kind of
bad.
goofy.
Right.
Yeah.
That was kind of,
Yeah.
it almost made it sound like it is okay if we can screw him a little bit,
Yeah.
but it's not okay if it's just for him and his friends.
That's correct. And
Well, I don't know that
that-
they would say that.
Well, dear, I mean,
It's
seriously,
different,
though,
but-
if you're against it, you're against it. If you're not against it, I mean,
Well,
that
and
was
it's-
silly.
and
That,
then the
that
other
whole
side
thing
of
made
it-
them look silly.
the other side of it is, in the very beginning, it was all about not wanting it by the critical wildlife
And you moved
area.
it, and you
Right,
moved it.
right. But now it has nothing to do with the critical wildlife.
now
area.
it's all political.
Now they act like they don't even care what happens. They're willing to take the risk of losing the critical wildlife area to continue to try to stop this access for this neighborhood.
Have you tried to make nice with the Audubon Society? You don't have to answer that.
No,
That- what's the
they're-
next? What's the
they're-
next step
they're-
in this whole process?
we're
waiting now,
we're,
right?
we're
You're not
in
holding.
negotiations somewhat with the state of Florida to try to come up with a way to settle the quiet title. I'm not going to go into detail there.
Because it's quiet.
And
Quiet,
yeah, good job.
Good job.
That's
he
close.
said.
It was close. I'll give you half a bell for that.
And so we think that that's going to be successful. The state's indicated, I'm not going to say the state has indicated. There are indications that the state is not really interested in taking this all the way to court. One thing I want to bring up here also that's confusing about this whole deal. Someone, most likely the town attorney, John Herron, is advising these three council people that are voting against the walkover that they don't have anything to worry about. He's advising them, I guess, I'm assuming, that I can't win. Okay. I don't know where he's getting his information, but these council people, they should ask him to verify that. What information do you have, Mr. Town Attorney, that you can show these council people that you believe that I can win? Because I'm telling you, I don't know if anyone has noticed that's followed this along. Kurt and I have made 3 offers to the town. And they've turned them all down. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but the offers have gotten worse every time. Jim Adderholt made the comment last year that he wasn't ready to vote in favor of the walkover because he wanted to see what the town could get out of it. Okay. And that's on video. All right. I don't know if anyone's paid attention, but Kurt and I made a very, very benevolent offer last year to try to smooth this over and to try to give the town a reason to settle it. Mm-hmm. And they turned it down. The same 3 council people. But I don't know if anyone's noticed. There's been a couple of offers since. The offers get worse. The reason why the offers get worse is because
you think you're going to win.
Mine and Kurt and I our position continues to get stronger.
Right. Mm-hmm. So we're running out of time here, Eddie. The position of the council members is that they if the attorney is advising them that they might win this, then they really have nothing to lose if they're being advised by their attorney. Now, if you wind up winning and the town winds up saying we lost $750,000 of the taxpayers' money, then somebody's going to have to answer to that, I guess.
And let me just ask.
Maybe not.
I think I know the answer to this. Whoever wins, there's no we pay. There's no. The winner pays.
No.
So everybody's out money no matter what.
And so the taxpayers know, Eddie.
But I want to bring up one thing to expound on what you just said. I see where this is going. I see, I'm not going to name any names, but I see where it's going. If the town loses, the opinion will be, the story will be, well, we were advised by our attorney.
Right.
And so our attorney gave us bad advice.
Right.
And we were just going along following his advice. That's a weak
No,
position.
I don't think so, because they're not going to take advice from you if that's where you're going with it.
They need to be questioning the advice that they're getting.
But how do you know they're not? And if he's advising them that they have a good case, now I'm not behind closed doors.
Right.
I'm not assuming they're doing things behind closed doors. What I'm saying is when they're meeting one-on-one, it doesn't need to be in the public.
Right.
But he may be advising them that he thinks that you still have to build a walkover and you still need a special exception. And maybe they're banking on the fact that at some point you're going to give up, which we know is not the case.
So what happens with the critical wildlife area? Are they willing to lose the critical wildlife area?
I don't think they are, but I mean, I don't really know what they're all thinking. I don't know that they believe that the critical wildlife area will be dissolved in any way, because you've said that's not what you want to do.
Well, it's not what we want to do, but we will do it. Here's the thing. You heard the mayor himself. You saw the meeting, the council meeting, where he stated, I personally spoke to the head of the DEP, and he told me that if this goes too far and ends up in court, that the state most likely will not be able to defend the ownership of the property, which would in turn destroy the critical wildlife area boundaries. Murphy told them that, and it went right in one ear and right out the other. Okay. John Herron said, I'll call them myself.
Well, nobody's ever followed up with that in public.
I can tell you he never called, because
Well, you don't know that for 100% sure.
I do know it for 100% sure.
Because he told you he didn't call him?
Because the head of the DEP said
I
that
see.
no one from the town, not a single person, had called or left a message or spoken to him. Ever.
You know, to solve the whole thing, the head of the DEP should just come on the show and tell us who owns the property.
Well,
why won't they do that? Why won't they just say,
Well, it's
here's who
probably
owns the
because
property?
it's all in litigation, and
it's
nobody
BS.
wants to talk.
And
about it.
everybody's
Except Eddie will talk.
Yeah,
Well,
the problem with that is back when Valenstein was still secretary.
Huh?
Justin Wolf, the head of the DEP, the department that was handling it, at the council meeting on November 18th, they were going to have a representative from the DEP tell the council exactly what Justin Wolf told Murphy.
All right, you're getting in the weeds here with these names and all that stuff. I think
Anyway,
we know where we're going. We're waiting.
At the last minute, the DEP, at the week before the council meeting, the DEP contacted my attorneys and said, we can't have anyone come to that council meeting.
Got it. What is the final question? Because we're running over as usual, and I know
You
the
need
wife
to
gets
go-
nervous and crazy when I
no,
run over.
you need to go do the yard.
I know.
So.
I got this baby lawnmower anyway. So we'll tell that story after real quick. So Eddie, last question? What's the next most?
I like how he writes the notes.
He'll always be back. He'll always be back. We know we can always talk to you when the wife's not around and interrupts us with her silly
I
questions.
just want to see. I had some notes.
So what
I have
is the
to
next
listen to
date
it.
that
I
we're
know you
waiting
did.
for? What's the next important date that people should watch out for?
It's my understanding that the mediation period is over in February between us and the state.
February. Holy moly.
And it's scheduled for trial.
This
in
could
June.
run into the next election.
And it'll all be the quiet title and the ownership will be settled before the next election. And trust me, if it goes our way, it will be a big subject in the election.
Yeah. Well, maybe one person. Yeah, I got you. All right, Eddie Rood, thank you so much. And we appreciate you coming on at the last minute. I asked you yesterday to come on to give us an update.
Yeah,
It was very nice of you to do that.
Yeah,
Thank you. And we'll see you again soon.
All right, yeah.
All right,
Sounds
Eddie
good.
Rood, everybody.
All
Big
right.
hand from our live
And
studio
congratulations
audience.
on
Thank you
that
for coming
fish.
down. And we have we do have tickets to give away, folks, in a couple minutes, but I have to make sure I tell you about don'titchit.com, islandoilsllc.com. You need right now to get online and buy some of this friggin' all-natural bug spray because the freaking temperatures have been nuts out there. The humidity, the bugs coming off the water, the bugs coming off the pool, the bugs coming off the bugs coming off the pets. You don't need to have bugs up your nose or in your ears or anywhere else on your person. So spray yourself with a little don'titchit.com. You get the name, everybody? If you spray it on you, you won't itch. Duh. Don'titchit.com, Island Oils LLC. Either one of those sites will bring you to an online form where you go online right now because they know the show is on right now and they know that I'm reading you the ad and you don't want bugs crawling up your behind. That hurts. I'm telling you, a lot. Get some bug spray. It's all natural. There's no DEETs because you don't want any DEETs around you. I don't know what the hell they are, DEETs. It smells fabulous. My wife thought I had on Colugna the other day, but I said no. It's bug spray. It smells fabulous. Get some now. And they're local, for crying out loud. Fort Myers Tiki Tours are our final sponsor of the show before we give away tickets. Fort Myers Tiki Tours. You know that little boat that you see out there with the tiki hut on the top? That's Fort Myers Tiki Tours. They take you out there, and all you need to do is bring your wife or your husband, whatever floats your boat, and some alcoholic beverages if you're a drinker, or some non-alcoholic beverages if you're
you
not.
can bring juice.
Because they have a cooler. And the last thing you want to do is waste the ice that they put in the cooler. Because
We had a great time cruising up and down.
isn't that
the bay.
Kurt from Beach Pottery right there? Is that Kurt from
I
Beach
don't
Pottery?
know.
I
Might
think
be.
it's Kurt. You know what? The sponsor's checking up
Okay,
on us.
they
Make sure.
can't see it, so
239-887-0042. 239-887-0042 is the phone number.
and they go out of Salty Sam's. Did you mention that?
I did not, but thank you very much for filling
You
us
just
in?
easily there's access. There's easy
Yeah.
access via a dock, not a dune walkover, but there's a dock you can walk out
Nice. I
Yeah,
slid
okay.
that in
Sit
there.
it.
Very nice.
and you can get on the boat, and everyone will take your big picture.
Yeah, and you can see dolphins. You're guaranteed to see dolphins and manatee.
Well, they don't
and
guarantee anything.
I know, but you're in that area. You're guaranteed to see something flipping
Something.
up. It might look like a dolphin. It might be something else. It might be a boat, a return boat.
You have to get home to do
It
the
could be a
launch.
snapper. Could be a bobber. If there's a bobber, somebody's fishing.
No, but if you see fishing line out there, scoop it up.
Yeah.
Have the boat people slow down and scoop it up out there, because that's very
Well,
dangerous.
we were
for
out
the
there. You
marine
made them
life.
turn around so you could pick up somebody's
Yes.
hat.
No. Somebody threw there was a water bottle, a
Ah,
plastic water bottle.
I see. Water
So,
bottle. Yeah. All right. Let's give away these tickets. I got to read
Okay.
this. It was so funny yesterday when I was on the because I'm a certified member of the press. I was on the Colonel Kelly call talking. We were him and I were chatting about LOSAM, and I want to make sure that we're not
Please.
going to get screwed
That was
over here. So
Everybody was on
yeah.
that
So
call.
I asked him a few riveted questions. And the girl from the lady, am I canceled again? The lady from one of the newspapers or TV
a
stations,
person from another station.
a woman from another station or wherever, she said, this is going to be a long question. And it was like 5-6 minutes long.
Yeah,
and you
you
could
know
tell
what,
she was
though?
reading. It was like,
Yeah,
holy
I
crap,
thought-
lady, get to the point.
No. She
minimize
did a
that?
great job. No, you had to lay the groundwork for that
Did
question.
you hear the question?
I did hear the
It
question.
was totally confusing.
And she was prepared with the question, unlike some people who have a lot of ums and
No.
ahs. And yeah.
But my
And
question
so-
is 30 seconds. Like, hey,
it's
are we
another
getting
40 seconds of and
No.
ah. She had it all
how
out.
dare
and
you?
She had a very good question.
My question to my friend Colonel Kelly yesterday was, hey, are we still getting screwed over here? That's all
No,
I
that's
needed
not
to
what
ask
you
him.
said. You asked if it was going to make folks on this side warm and fuzzy.
That's right. That was my question. I said,
Huh.
since you were at the Pink Shell and you gave us that update, has anything happened, to make the people on the West Coast feel warm and fuzzy? And he said, I don't remember what he said. He said they're working on it.
He said they're working on
Yeah,
it, and
too early to tell.
He's confident that there will be improvements for the high flows.
Yeah, he
So
got
we'll
into all
see.
that stuff, and I just wanted a yes or no. All right, everybody, 2 tickets to the Beach Theater, which is here on the beach.
Talk about a long question.
Yeah, no kidding. That's why I went back and kind of did the revisionist thing. The family movie Paw Patrol screens at the Beach Theater, and they are on a roll. Now, Janine wrote this, so I wrote it down word for word. I didn't try and take any of her promotion of it out. When their biggest rival becomes mayor of nearby Adventure City and starts wreaking havoc, Ryder
That's one of the Paw Patrol
and
puppies.
everyone's favorite heroic pups kick into high gear to face the challenge head on. While one pup must face his past in Adventure City, the team finds help from a new ally, the savvy Dachshund, Liberty. Together, armed with exciting new gadgets and gear, the Paw Patrol fights to save the citizens of Adventure City. What is the name of their biggest rival? I guess what I could have done was just ask that last sentence.
We could have.
What is the name of their biggest rival? And I've never seen a
have no
Paw
clue.
Patrol
Me
movie.
neither.
I didn't even know they existed.
I've seen them, but I have not seen any movies. I have not seen any.
Do
I
the, are,
don't
the,
know.
are the Incredibles still playing? Do they still?
Wow, that's way old.
I mean, that was when the movies were fun. And Lance, you are wrong, Lance. That's not even close.
you're right,
Lance. You're
Sue.
crazy. It's not even close to that. So, what did you think of Eddie's performance today, wife? By the way, I have to go to
You know what?
Dayton tomorrow,
I
and
thought-
I'm not
can
looking
I
forward
answer
to
the
that.
first
Yeah,
question?
go ahead.
I thought Eddie did
Sue's
good.
got it right, but she's not winning.
I thought Eddie did a good job. He stayed.
Yeah.
I told him
You
before
stayed
he
within
came
the
on, I said,
boundaries of
"You've
the
gotta
critical
keep
wildlife
it-
area.
you
He can
gotta
go off
keep
on a
it
tangent.
succinct and not get too far in the weeds." And I thought he did a good job. And yes, you're going out of town, and I am happy for that.
Lance, just because you type it out doesn't mean, I see Doc's hand. Is that how you say it? Doc's hand? That's how he typed it out. He wants me to say it right, so he typed it out Doc's hand. Is that a name of a dog? Doc's hand. Jim Hockett won the tickets, and Jim
All
is a regular viewer of the show, and so Jim, congratulations! A big round
Now,
of
Jim,
applause.
there's no lights allowed inside the movie theater.
Oh, you're so funny because Jim's the light guy.
Ding,
Very
ding,
funny,
ding.
dear. Very funny. She gave herself a bell. And the final score today was Ed got 2 bells.
Oh, no.
And
I
the wife
like
got 1
3 or
bell.
4.
Well, self-inflicted bells don't
No.
count. I'm sorry.
I asked her.
No.
I got 3 bells on my own, plus 1
On your
that I
own.
begged.
All
Yes.
right. We're going to have an official scorekeeper next time that we do the bell thing. So congratulations to Jim Hockett. And he gets the 2 tickets to the Beach Theater, and he's going to go watch Paw Patrol.
I think he might choose a different one, but
Yeah.
maybe he'll
Very nice.
maybe he'll like
Very
to go
nice.
see that.
All right. Well, today's show went 24 minutes past the time that we said we were going to keep it to within an hour because I have to go back and mow the lawn. Now, I've got this baby lawnmower. It's like one of those things that, you
gotta
plastic
ask
ones
him
that you
about
buy
that.
the little kids.
It's like a Mickey Mouse one.
And because
I expect bubbles to come out of it as you're pushing it.
somebody gave us a real lawnmower, not a sit-down
broke
lawnmower,
it.
but it was a big one. And
You
by the
broke
way,
it.
I don't want to get off topic here at all, but did you know that the gas-powered leaf blowers are very loud and
Yes.
obnoxious, and they ruin the quality of life around?
I was over in
these
Sanibel
parts.
at one of their meetings when it came up.
Yeah.
So yes,
And so the lawnmower that Jason so graciously gave us
you broke.
somehow won't start.
No,
And
it'll
I've
start.
used it for
won't keep
1
going.
month. Like it starts and then it stops.
It's not getting enough
it's like
oxygen.
the gas isn't getting to the part where the gas needs to get to somehow.
Maybe you need to clean out the gas filter.
You did that last week. And so
That was the air
I'm glad I
filter?
saved the baby lawnmower because it works. It starts and it takes like 14 times down 1 row to cut the yard. So, all right, everybody, she's giving me the hi-ho, the hook. Thank you very much, wife, for showing up today. You are a sport and a trooper, and
You were
God
really
only
getting on
knows
my last nerve
that
today.
this was an award-winning show. Our first guest really garnered a huge audience. So what that means to me is we need more regular folk on the show.
Anik.
We just need to pluck people out of thin air and say, sit down and tell us about your life.
Thanks to Cindy.
Yeah, thanks to Cindy and Steve Johnson for turning us on to Anika. And for the record, everybody, the Queen is 95, and so is Joe Biden, apparently, because if you heard his press conference this week, he like he was 95. But I digress. Folks, we'll be back next week, I hope. And
Thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week.
bye-bye.